I am here to talk about mind controlling anything, whether it's mind controlling entities, mind controlling aliens, mind controlling deceased people, alive people, any energies that people might think are mind controlling them. If you haven't seen my other two videos, one of them is identifying entities and how to release them, get rid of them. And the other one is about alien implants. I am going to leave the links below in the description. Please feel free to watch those videos. They're very informative and they will offer information that I won't be repeating in this video. The reason why I am even making this video is because a lot of people see my alien and entity, negative entity and alien video, and they contact me for many different reasons. A lot of people have issues with different energy types bothering them. The one that seems to be the most difficult for people to deal with or get rid of, in my experience, are the mind controlling ones that people say that they have. Now, whether they have them or not, that's a different subject. Sometimes, I see people, I have sessions with them, and it is something in their mind. And other times there is something definitely there. So, I can't tell you which is which like this. I mean, you'd have to have a session for me to even be able to know what's going on. So this is just a general video to help whoever might need it that finds this, and hopefully there's something in here that can help you. What I'm really focusing on in this video is talking about when you feel something is like constantly talking to you or trying to tell you what to do or putting really fearful thoughts into your mind and just dominating your thoughts. And what you really need to do to be able to get rid of that stuff. So, like I said, I, have clients and I've helped a lot of clients with this, but then there's other clients that, I help them somewhat and then they don't get through it. It takes a lot of commitment and a firm decision that you are going to do what it takes to get rid of it. And I'm not saying that it's easy, because it just depends on what's going on with the person and how much they are able to follow through with the feedback that I give them, with the guidance that, I receive through, the help that I have in helping people get through this stuff. But I'm going to tell you some real, just what comes up a lot in different scenarios, that at least you can get a firm foundation of what really needs to happen. Okay, first of all, anything that comes around you, let me just say this: nothing has control over you. You have free will. Everybody here has free will. There is nothing that can control us or tell us what to do or be with us or do anything to us against our will. Now, again, I've heard of a lot of cases, and so some of you might be saying, well, I don't want this, I don't like this, I would never want this. This is crazy. But there's just a lot that goes on around this. Sometimes you might have a contract with these beings that you're here learning something from this. Sometimes I've heard of people getting it and needing to get through it so they can actually help other people get through it. Some people are here to experience, everybody's here to experience different things. So like I said, there's no cookie cutter mold. But I will tell you that we all have free will, and nothing, absolutely nothing, can have control of anyone. Okay, even source, God, universe, whatever you call the highest power of the highest, cannot do anything to us against our free will. Whether, sometimes we might really want something And, we'll say, I really want this to happen in my life, but if you don't give permission to the universe, you don't give permission to God, whoever your higher source of energy is, it can help you, but ultimately you have to give permission for it to help. So just like, angels, and I work with, a lot of angels and enlightened beings, and I work with all kinds of things, from angels to ascended masters to even star beings and creator and whatever. But I just work with beings of light. Now, you may or may not know my background, but I do have a book called Dead People in My Life, and you can get that on Amazon. And, from being a young girl, very young, I saw spirits all the time. And the things that I saw were really scary. I wasn't seeing angels and fluffy fairies and, unicorns and all these kind of, fun, loving, happy stuff. I was seeing scary things, and scary things were happening to me. Okay, they were doing things to me. So I was very afraid of my sixth sense. I was obviously very psychic. I could see things. I didn't know at the time that I was. I had no idea. But I would see, deceased people walking through, and I'd see entities, and I'd be sitting there. It was bone chilling, but I just didn't know I could do anything about it. I was just really scared. And so my book talks about that stuff. So I have a lot of experience in this. So as a little girl, not knowing what to do, not having the support and all of that, just keeping it to myself, it was a nightmare. I would go to bed and pretty much get under my blankets. I don't know how I could breathe all night, but I would wrap myself up and pray that I got through the night without having any problems. And it was like that every night. So I know what that is, but I didn't know that I could ask the angels for help. I didn't know that I could ask anything for help. I didn't even know that there were angels. I didn't even know there was good beings. I was just trying to close off everything so I wouldn't have these experiences. And so it wasn't until I was an adult when I found this book about angels that told me that I could ask angels for help with anything. And I was just like, what? You could, there's angels and you could ask for help? That started my journey. And actually, there's a video about that on my website. If you went to cindyeiler.com, under Manifesting Breakthroughs, I tell my story there as well. So I don't want to repeat all that, but I just want to say that I have experienced the dark and the light. So I know what it is, and I'm very good at sensing energy. So I know that sometimes we don't realize that we have the power and our free will to, say no to these things, but you do. You don't have to accept this in your life. You don't have to allow this to take over your life, and you need to basically stand up and take control of everything. And what I would say the first thing is for you to know you have free will, that you have a choice, that you have the power, not anything else. And the minute that you give your power up to anything, it's usually because you're fearful, or you don't know that you don't have to give up your power. Maybe you just don't even know that. But if something knows it can take your power, it's definitely going to hang out with you. Are you kidding me? There's all kinds of energies and spirits and stuff out there that want to use people as a conduit to, bring other beings in, or be around other people and make their lives miserable. There's all kinds of reasons, or even just to bring the vibration down in our world, down in our universe, to bring more fear and anchor it into our earthly presence. So there's a lot of reasons why they do it. But the thing is that you don't have to allow that to happen. Okay, so that's the first thing, is you have free will. You can say, no, stop it. Now, in my other video, I speak about somebody that I used to be with, and these aliens were drilling in his head, and I told him, you know, at some point you gave them permission that they could do that. And so if you don't want them doing that, because it was like this ongoing thing, you need to tell them. And he got really mad. He's like, they are not allowed to do that. No way. I do not give permission, and that needs to stop now. And basically, he put his foot down, and it never happened again. So, you know, it's knowing is like 99%, knowing what to do. So you say no and no more, and you have to mean it. Okay, so there's this little boy that had a lot of aliens around him, and he actually, you know, was accepting of it and was talking to them, and you know, I wouldn't say that they were really friends. I think he was kind of scared about it, but he just, you know, whatever, he was, you know, they were there, and so he was, you know, talking to them. But it got to a point where he was crying, and he told me, I'm scared because they're really mad because we moved and they didn't want us to move, and they're really mad. And so I told him, you need to tell them to get away from you now and not let them be around you. So he said, okay. And so then he did it. And then later he was like, oh, they didn't listen. They're here. And the thing was that he would see them. And so he got into this habit, like if they're around, to talk to them or whatever, whether he liked them or not. And I said, you cannot talk to them anymore. If you see them come around, you have to say again, no, you cannot be here. And then totally ignore them. And the thing is, you have to be very persistent. You can't keep going back to your old habits. You have to make the claim, and you have to be committed to what you're saying and not engage. You just can't. No matter how much they are coming around you, they're going to see if you're serious. They're going to see if they can get in, and that you won't know that they have to stop. And so you have to be really persistent and just keep saying no, and then change your thought. Don't even think about them. You have to keep refocusing on something else, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. So that's the next thing. The other thing is they breed off of fear. They really breed off of fear. So if you have any fear whatsoever, they're in. You cannot fear anything. These things can't hurt you. They might be saying awful things. They might be threatening you or the people around you. They might be talking all kinds of bullshit. But you know what? They cannot hurt anybody. Okay? They cannot hurt you, and they can't hurt anybody. So just laugh at them. Laugh at them and get on with it. Like, are you serious? I don't think so. And so, you know, you cannot be in fear. That is the number. I mean, the first thing is free will, definitely, but fear is like right up there. If you have any fear, they are in. You cannot have fear. You just can't. Now, let me tell you something as a side note. It's kind of hard for me to talk about these things. It's not hard, but I don't really like to talk about it because this is not where I am in my spiritual growth. I believe and this is like, I have manifesting breakthrough courses that, you know, I teach all this stuff, but so it's, you know, a lot, and I just can't explain it all in a video to you. But basically, my belief is we are all our own universes. And we decide what is in our universe, and we decide what we believe in and what we don't believe in. And what we believe and don't believe is what our experience is going to be. Yes, I see you in my universe, or I see that in my universe, and I see things that I don't like, and I see things that I do like. But they're all here teaching us something. So if there's something that comes to your awareness, whether you like it or you don't like it, it's there to be showing you something, to be teaching you something. And I was just having a discussion with somebody tonight, in fact, and I was saying, you know, why do we, you know, humans in general, we believe like bad things. It's so easy for us to believe bad things. And I don't really believe in bad or good, but I'm just trying to put this in context for you. So I said to this person, if I told you, oh, did you hear that this country just bombed these people? And whether, he had heard it or not, he would probably believe me and go, oh, no, I didn't hear that. But, he'd either go check it out or he would just believe that it happened. He just didn't hear it yet. And I said, so you believe me, right? And he goes, yeah. And I said, okay, so then if I told you that by tomorrow morning, every single person in this universe would have $1 million, would you believe me? And he goes, no. And I go, exactly. I said, why is it so easy for us to just believe like horrible things can be true without any proof, without anything, and, amazing good things? No, that couldn't happen. I said, that is the way we are, we think. We just believe these things. I say half of the stuff that happens probably never even happened. For instance, I said, recently what happened, the Russian plane of tourists that was leaving Egypt, I guess last month, it blew up in the sky. And now they're trying to figure out who put the bomb and whatever. And I said, when if Russia put that bomb in their own plane to be able to have a reason to start fighting with this country or that country? And, you don't know. You don't know, what is true and what's not true. But we see something in the newspaper or somebody tells us something or we hear it in the news and we automatically believe that it happened. What if it didn't happen? What if somebody's just saying it, but we just believe the crap? But if we said, like everybody would have a roof over their head tomorrow night, or everybody would be safe and everybody would be happy, everybody would be like, oh, I don't believe that. So why do we believe the things that we believe? We believe them because, number one, of fear. Number two, because that's how we were brought up to believe. Number three, you decide for yourself. You've got to step up to the plate for yourself and start believing things that are going to be more supportive to your experience here. So whatever you believe is. And so when there's things that happen like that, to me is like, that is just the concept of that happening. That's really funny. I just don't even believe that. Because I'm not going to waste my time on this crazy stuff. I really am not. If I'm creating my own universe, I'm going to spend my time focusing on stuff that I want in my universe and that I believe in my universe. So that's why I don't really like talking about these things, because to me, it's just like, I just wouldn't even let this shit bug me. I would not let any spirits take my time and waste my life and make me miserable. I wouldn't let it happen. Now, are they around? Well, I guess they are, because there's people like you listening to this that probably have these issues. And why? I mean, somehow I've created in my experience that this is true because you're here, right? Or have you created me into your experience to tell you the truth that it's not? I don't know which one it is. But I don't like talking about it because I don't waste my time on this stuff. And I'm really sorry if you are suffering with this, but you can stop it. You can get out of it if you really want to. And there's also a lot of people that say they don't like this stuff, but they actually do. It's actually serving them in some way. What would they do if they didn't have to deal with this on an everyday basis? What would they do with their time? They only know this. What would they do without having this consume them? What would they do without having a reason for not having to have to deal with life or going to work or whatever it is? I mean, people do things for all kinds of reasons. So for me, it's just, what kind of quality of life do you want? What kind of experience do you want? What kind of universe do you want? So I am so beyond this, but because a lot of people come to me, that's why I'm doing the video. And, so, I'll entertain your experience, I guess, but I'll tell you, I had a lot of bad things happening when I was a little girl, and if I could get through the stuff as a little girl, certainly you as an adult can. Come on, I didn't have any help. I didn't have a Cindy Eiler telling me what to do. I didn't even have parents helping me with this, okay? I got through it by myself as a little girl. And so if I can do it, you can do it. So you've just got to decide if that's really what you want. And if you don't, then admit it to yourself. Stop being in denial like you don't like it. Just say, you know what? I am doing this and I do like it. And I do want it. And embrace it and enjoy it. You know? But don't bring your dramas around to people just to bug them to have someone to play with you in your playground. But for people who really do have issues, really do have energies. I mean, I've had people contact me and just like looking at their pictures like, whoa, I click it off, I delete it from my computer. It's like, no way, like I totally just felt that, and that was creepy. So, I mean, you know, they're summoning that sort of energy to themselves, and so yeah, I could pick up on that, I can feel that, and that's creepy. And I could totally go into fear about it, but I don't let myself. I know I call in all my angels, and I call in, you know, my ascended masters, and you know, I'll burn sage and ring my bells, whatever I need to do to keep energy clear, because I just am not going to waste my time on it. It will come around if I let it, but I'm not letting it. So anyway, you've got to get out of the fear. You have to get out of the fear, because as long as you have fear, those things will grab onto you so easily. You've just got to get out of the fear. You have to just decide you're not going to be afraid anymore and stick with it. Okay? Okay, so what's really important with this stuff is realizing that we are all energetic beings. So we're all vibrating, we're all energy. And whatever vibration that we're at is going to be the vibration that we attract. So we're all vibrating in different dimensions. And so if you were like, you know, meditating every day and filling yourself with light, which is AKA God, source, whatever your higher power is. If you were just sitting there and breathing and sitting out in nature or creating a sacred space in your house and just allowing light to fill you, just filling yourself. And how do you do that? You feel it, you imagine it, you visualize it, or you just have a knowing. I'm filling myself with light. And if you just keep filling yourself with light, what's going to happen is anything dark has to start releasing, because the dark cannot stay in the light. What happens when you're in a dark room and you light a match or a candle? It brightens. The dark can't smother that light. Okay? So if you are filling yourself with light, the dark has to start leaving. So the trick of it is you've got to continually do it. Now, can you do that 24/7? Well, if you have time and you're committed, you can do that walking around. Just keep saying, you know, light is coming in, light is coming in. I'm filling myself with light. I'm at the store, I'm filling myself with light. I mean, definitely, if you can do that, you will be like 100% better for sure. But if you can't do it all the time, then you make sure you do it in the morning, and you make sure you do it in the afternoon, and you make sure you do it at night. And when you feel fearful, you stop what you're doing and you do it then. Or if you start having thoughts that aren't yours or that you don't like, you do it again. And sometimes, you know, we have our own thoughts that we don't like, so sometimes you just have to do it for yourself. That will bring you the comfort. That will bring you the feeling safe and the security. And it'll start, what happens is your energy and your body starts getting used to bringing in light and anchoring in light, that it will start attracting light and bringing in light. If you're consistent with it, it'll just start doing that flow of light, because you turned on the faucets and you allowed it to start pouring in. It'll just continue to pour in. I mean, you might have to remember in the morning, let me start that faucet again, or that waterfall, and continue to let it pour in. But the more you start doing that all the time, the more it'll just naturally start happening. So what happens when the light comes washing through your body and through all of your energy field, the dark will start washing out. Now, sometimes when that happens, you will experience some not good feelings. Sometimes you might become angry. Sometimes you might become fearful. Sometimes you might get impatient, or, feel depressed or feel guilty or whatever. I mean, that's called releasing. So when you release darkness out of you, a lot of times you experience it one more time as it's leaving. So the trick is not to grab onto it and sit and spin in it. The trick is to say, you know what, I'm feeling like crap right now. It must be the light, cleansing out the dark. So I'm just going to let the light keep cleansing it out. Thank you for cleansing it out. Thank you, light, for filling me. Thank you, light, for making me feel safe, making me feel good. I want to feel good. I want to feel good. Thank you. I want to feel good. And you just keep doing that, and soon you will feel good. And sometimes it might take an hour, and sometimes it might take a day, and sometimes it might take a couple of weeks. But what you don't do is grab onto it and start playing in the drama of it. I call that sitting and spinning. You've got to be on top of your game if you really want to get rid of this stuff. When low energy leaves, it feels lousy, but at least better out than in. Okay? So that's going to be the first thing that you can do. And how easy is that? That's easy. You just have to do it. The other thing is, I'm talking about that we are energetic beings, that we all vibrate at different levels. And somebody who meditates all the time and eats healthy definitely is going to be at a higher vibration than somebody that is angry all the time, that eats like crap. Okay? So those are going to be different vibrations. If you are experiencing any kind of mind control or any low energy or any energy or people even, or experiences in your life that you don't like, that means you need to get out of the vibration that you're living in. Okay, there's multi-dimensions, multi-vibrations, all happening at the same time. And it's up to us to choose where we're going to live, where we're going to vibrate. That's like saying, I'm going to hang out with all kinds of positive people and feel good, or I'm going to just sit around with all these people that make me feel like crap and be unhappy. So if you're choosing to be around people that make you unhappy, you're going to be in a very low vibration. Or, I don't even want to say low or high. You're going to be in a vibration of unhappy. So you're going to attract unhappy situations. You're going to attract not feeling good. You're going to attract all kinds of crap, unhappy people around you. And that's your choice if you're making that choice. But if you say, you know what, I just noticed that I am around a lot of negative people. No wonder I feel so lousy. I've got to start changing the people that I'm around. And changing it doesn't mean going around and complaining about these people. That is just going to make it breed more. You have to get out of the dimension. You have to say, I'm going to get away from these kind of people, and I'm either going to just hang out with myself and just fill myself with light and, manifest happier people, or I'm going to go find happier people to hang out with. Or I'm going to, instead of hanging out in this, dark, bar, I'm going to go hang out at the beach in the sunlight. You have to be conscious about where you're going, who you're engaging with, and what you're doing. If your life doesn't feel good, then look around and see what you're doing that doesn't feel good and make the conscious decision to change it, and then change it. It's all in your hand. You're the only one, in fact, that can change anything. So if you don't like something talking to you and mind controlling you, you've got to make the decision that you're not going to let that happen anymore. So what can you do to make that go away? First of all, I said, raise your vibration. Get in a different kind of energy. If you are, whatever vibration you're in right now, and if you have something trying to mind control you or mind controlling you or bringing you down, you've got to get out of that vibration and get into another one. And I suggest a higher one, because the higher in vibration you go, these beings, these energies that are bothering you, cannot meet you there. They're only going to meet you where you are right now. And as long as you stay in the vibration and the dimension that you're in right now, the more that you're going to deal with them. And they're not going to go away. They're going to fight you and bug you and pester you until you decide that you're not going to hang out in their world anymore. You're not going to live there anymore. You're going to go live in a higher dimension. So to raise your dimension, like I said, being around more positive people, thinking more positive, believing positive things, not believing the old crap that makes you feel bad, getting out for walks and breathing fresh air, focusing on things that are beautiful, working with crystals, holding crystals, that brings up your vibration, drumming, shaking rattles, ringing bells, burning sage, anything that can change the energy and lift you out of a lower vibration. Clear your house with those things that I just said. Clear your house, clear your space. Get outside, go for a run, go for a walk, take the hardest hike you can take. Force yourself to do things differently. Now, sometimes when you're in this mind state, it's hard to just start, okay, I'm going to go for a hike, because it might take you energy to do that. It might, I'm not saying this is easy, but I'm saying if you really don't like it, then you're going to put the work into it to make a change. The only way that anything's going to change is if you change what you're doing. If you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep experiencing what you experience. So you have to change everything. So you're going to have to start writing a list, listening to this video, and saying, okay, I'm going to start running light through me every day. I'm just going to start that. I'll just start with that. I am going to, every time I hear it talking to me, I'm going to say, you are not welcome here. Get out. And that's it. And just imagine yourself just pulling those thoughts out of your head and throwing them up to the light. Ask the angels to come and help you. Ask the seraphim angels to come and help you. To release these thoughts from you and take them to the light and cut the cord from them. Just go, I cut the cord. You're out of here. That's it. And then start dinging a bell or doing sage around yourself or just fluffing up your energy. You do this and fluff up your energy and imagine what color feels good around you and start just fluffing up that color around you and sealing up your energy so that nothing can come through. And if you hear it again, because you're in the habit of it, you will have to keep experiencing it a little bit until you are persistent and you say, no, you're not welcome here. Thank you, angels. Take it to the light. I'm cutting the cord. I'm fluffing up my energy. I'm filling myself up with pink love and light. Breathing. Now, what happy thing can I think of? Do not let it consume your time or space. Don't argue with it. Don't spend any more time with it than you have to, other than saying you're out of here. And you might have to say it constantly for the first couple days or first couple weeks or even a month. You might have to do this constantly. But then you do it constantly, and believe me, sooner or later, it will stop. It will go. You just have to keep up with it. So you've got to get out of the dimension that you're in and get in a completely different dimension, a higher dimension, where these beings are not vibrating high and they cannot get into your space. So, do the things that I mentioned. Get out of your fear. Fear is a very low vibration. Talk about love. Make love your biggest subject that you think about every day. Study about love. Read about love. Draw pictures of love. Wear colors that feel like love. Tell people you love them. Just consume yourself with thoughts and words and reading and listening of love, all you possibly can. Drench your life with love. You have always two types of energies or decisions you can base your life from. And it's either love or fear. So choose the light over the dark. The light always wins, but you've got to put your energy focus to it. You've got to do what it takes. Become a love addict. Now, I'm not talking about like an addict, act like you're going to go like a sex addict or anything like that. I'm talking about learning about love. Okay? Learning about love. Pure, unconditional love. Beautiful love. And if it just means you run love light through you, that's what you do. But your focus has to be, number one, you have free will. No, nothing can take you over if you don't want it to. Two, you cannot be in fear. You have to be in love. Stop choosing from fear. Stop looking at fear. Stop feeling fear. Choose love. If you're feeling fear, I want you to choose the opposite of that feeling. Say, you know what? I'm actually feeling fear right now, and I'm going to just stop this. I'm going to cut the cord to fear, and I'm taking fear to the light, and I am just going to fill myself with love right now. Calling in my angels, calling in Mother Mary. I'm holding my heart. Love, 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 love. I'm filling myself with love. Love. Love is the way. Love is my life. Love. And you just keep doing that. Okay? So that's free will, no fear, choose love. And 3, keep your vibration moving higher and higher so you get out of where you're living and choose another place of living. If you could live anywhere, what would it be? How would you feel? How would you like to feel every day? Write a list, put it up on your wall, and then start going and doing things that foster those feelings, those emotions. Being around people that are into that too. Going to drum circles, going to healing circles, being around people who are going to hold positive energy for you. And the other thing that you can also use, which I love, is the violet flame. Saint Germain's violet flame. And you just imagine a violet flame engulfing your whole energy in your body, and it burns away any low energy, any negativity. You could also use a love flame, like a pink flame of love, or very powerful, a liquid white flame, because then that is pure light. So work with these energetic techniques, because everything is energy. And if you're focusing on these kind of things, then those other things cannot be. And like I said, you might have to be persistent for a little while, but if you stay on it, you can get through it. You really can. So this is basically what you need to do. And if you don't do this, you're just going to make things a lot harder on yourself. This totally works. But you've got to be committed, and you have to stay on it every second. Okay? So sending you lots of love, and make a choice for you and really decide what's important in your life. And then go for it, because you have all the power within yourself. Many blessings and lots of love. Bye, everyone.